there is no correlation between the best product and the best selling product. So there may be some very good products out there that aren't selling. In fact, people make businesses out of it. Hi, I'm John Harris, and this is Info Products, coming to you live from our digital studios. Yes, indeed, people go and check out the bottom of something, a format or platform, should I say, like ClickBank, and they see something that's in their interest, in their zone, and is not doing well at all. And then they contact the owner of that product and they say, listen, give me the rights, I'll buy the rights to sell that program or buy the program from you and make a deal. And then all they do is they rebrand and remarket. They do proper marketing. So it's interesting to remember that your product may be very good, but if the marketing's no good, you're not going to get any sales. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what it is that needs to go into your product and how you're going to go about selling that product. Remember, we're in the section now when we spoke about product, the psychology, the mindset, the reach, the marketing, and now we're talking about the offer. So we're in the second session now. It's important, we're going to go over 7 elements that you need to have in your actual product, the elements of your product format, your product format that you needed to get it to actually get the thing together. So just to remember, when I started this thing, I got very confused because there are a lot of working parts. And I kind of put the horse before the cart. A lot of people, it doesn't really work the way we think it works. I mentioned this several times. Always work with the end in mind. What is the end result you want to do? Everything you do online, you want to say, what is the end result I want to achieve? And start there and work backwards. We all logically go from where we are and move forward. So here's something to remember. Look, you need to define what it is that you're looking to set up. So you need to decide what is the scope of the product you're doing. As you mentioned, who are you going to be selling to? And what format, what is the right format? What is the market message media that will suit you and your potential clients? You need to have that thought out up front. Then you need to frame it. You need to start saying, okay, so what tactics am I going to use? How am I going to go about getting this out to the world? Where am I going to hang out where do my clients hang out? How can I get in touch? How can I get my message in front of them? How do I get in front of the parade? And then you're going to think about things of implementation. And implementation, you're going to need technology platforms. You're going to need autoresponders. You're going to need the various things that actually implement not only your customer's journey, but also the delivery of your product to your clients, your potential clients. So a lot of this I got confused with. So you just need to keep it very simple. Just frame it out, define it first, frame it, and then implement it. Let's just move forward a little bit and say now, first of all, what are these 7 elements we're talking about of a product? What is it that goes into the basic product offer and the basic product setup? So the first one is you need to have a title and subtitle. We've spoken about this a little bit before, and it's always good to try and have a result built into your title. I mean, if we take a book, Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich, it's giving you a result. That's a book, admittedly, but you also want to think about that with your title and subtitle and how to do something in a certain time frame. So you can go to ClickBank, you can go to other areas and look up some of the products that you're interested in, some of the areas you're interested in, see what you can find on how to. And you can start to see titles. You can get book titles. You can go online to Google, to Amazon, to places. We've been over this to start to look about titles. But just make sure it's clear. Avoid industry jargon that may be very relevant to that industry, but not relevant to your customer. Your customer wants a result, a benefit, a result. And avoid a lot of fluff. Don't make it too oochie coochie woo woo, because again, you're going to attract the wrong type of client. It's all about marketing, is getting attracting the right type of client to be aware of what your offer is and repelling the wrong type of client. Element number 2, you want to look at the format. And I'm just going to go over my notes to give you these 11 different formats that you can go in. Again, you're going to look at what you're comfortable with and where you think your clients are hanging out. So you're going to go to online membership sites. Is it a how-to product and you want to do it as a membership site? Which I would say, look, on the how-to industry, the info product is obviously one of the premier type platforms, the formats. You can have physical training products. Subscription programs where you have a monthly membership site, which is nice for annuity, but remember it becomes quite a lot of work. You've got to keep updating that, and you have quite a big fall off rate. But there are pros and cons to all of these things. Coaching programs where you're going to actually do coaching, group coaching, software apps, learning management systems where you might be going more into the corporate world, live events. These are things you're going to need to think about. And mastermind programs, very important. Certification programs, train the trainer programs, and manufactured products where you may be doing e-commerce and so forth. So those are 11 formats. Where are you going to position yourself? Would it be on membership sites? Is it going to be coaching? On the live event side, mastermind? Where are you going to position yourself to start with? Always try and focus on one thing. I make this mistake constantly where I get too many things that I'm trying to operate. Just go through one door. It gets too overwhelming. Go through the one door, focus on the one thing, get the one thing done, and try to perfect that one thing. Then move on to the next thing. It's very important. Otherwise, the overwhelm is what will happen. Okay, element number 3, your deliverables. So how are you going to deliver this? So you decide your format. If it's a membership site, how are you going to deliver your content? And what you're going to do is, here is a powerful way, is videos, obviously. Everybody really is going towards video. So video is a very powerful way of presenting your content. You can do audio as an additional thing, or you can do it, obviously they do it with podcasts, and it's a great way to start your presence, build your presence online, and the free stuff. You can do your manuals, you've got summary manuals, you've got action steps, you've got fill in the templates, you've got scripts, sample forms, summary cards, community access, mind maps, etc. So you may want to have a core product, and you may want to use some of these other deliverables to add as bonuses, to address, in a really good way of using bonuses to address some of the objections that may be coming up prior to it coming up, by having that as a bonus. And it helps in a big way because it buttons down your initial sale. Elements of the bonuses themselves. So you might have some unannounced bonuses, which are great because it's a surprise. And this whole thing is about what they call the bump. If it's a physical product, even with digital stuff, you can get your CDs, workbooks, etc. in a box, and you can put it all on a stick, let's be honest, but there's no perceived value in just having everything on a small stick. As people's brains is when it's a big box full of stuff, they feel they're getting value. And having an unannounced bonus is great. It's like Christmas. You open it up and you get an extra present. And 2 to 3 bonuses that will complement your product. And as I said, you don't want to do video, then do more video. If you have an audio, they can consume your information in a different place. There are people, places, and things. So they may want to do that in the car, where they won't be watching a video, hopefully. Or you may want to have a workbook where they can do some work and fill out, because maybe they prefer kinetic learning. And there are different ways of doing these things. A lot of times, I myself will use a workbook as opposed to going online, or I'll do the online videos. And I like a workbook because I can go over it in my own time, think about it, and do the thing in more depth. Then you want another one valuable bonus, something that's also really valuable. You know, we get MP3 sticks, you've got CDs, DVDs, you've got your workbooks, maybe mind maps. Sort of resources are also very valuable. To have a resource sheet where people can go and get extra resources to back up and impact on what they've already got, to their understanding of what they're looking at with your program. Element number 5, price. So you need to know your customer, their price point. You need to know your competitors, what they're pricing at for similar products, and your costs. You're obviously got to be very careful that you don't try to come in so cheap on certain things that you undercut yourself. Pricing's very relevant, and you're going to look at a couple of things here. Remember, you can have a high price where it's genuinely valued, and then you can start to come down in price. This is how you can actually qualify your pricing. So you can come down in pricing with specials and today's price. That's one way of doing it, but that is dropping the price. So that perceived value, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to have your price, have a decent price, and then to stack which is very powerful. You're going to stack on top of that so many valuable parts that a person will be crazy not to immediately jump in and buy that if they're interested in that specific topic. You're giving them so much value that they basically feel that you're being done out and they're getting a benefit, more benefit than you are, and that really gives them a drive to take action. So stacking value, bonuses, freebies, everything else that you can on top of that within that price range is a very good way, because then you're not necessarily having to drop your price. So basic rule of thumb is what people tend to do is they will sell at a price, the actual price, and they will start at 10 times that price. So if you're selling for $1,000, you're looking at a 10,000 type value. Just as a guideline, I know guys that are doing more than that, okay, but they're in the industry and they've got traction already, so they're providing unbelievable value. But again, don't focus on other people, focus on yourself. Risk aversion, so the guarantee is very important. You can get a lot of guarantees by seeing other products that are out there, going online, see what guarantees are out there, and crafting yourself a guarantee. You need to make it easy to understand and make sure you can honor it. But very important, make sure that there's an action, a call to, that they have to fulfill in order to get money back refunded. If you're giving a 30-day guarantee, make sure that they have to hand something in or fill something out and reapply, give that back to you, to make sure there's some kind of work on their behalf. Otherwise, it's all far too easy to get a benefit and just ask for a refund. If you're really adding value and all that, you're always going to get some people like that, unfortunately, in this world, and others will understand and will appreciate and will know that they need to keep the value of what you've given them, and they'll need to go over it and have it for a long period of time, that they can reinforce their own training with your product. And lastly, 7, the call to action. It's quite incredible, but it's very, very important. Guys that have done funnels for a long time, they know this. They know that to say click the button below is incredibly important. Every little step must be taken care of. You must tell people in the customer journey exactly what to do when, and take them on a very easy and very fulfilling and value-added journey, and tell them exactly what to do next and what they can expect next. And to hit the button below to get more information, or to get your free video, to get your free book, to get what it is that you're offering, or to take action to buy your product is very, very important. So those are the 7 elements. So you, just to go over this, that you're going to remember, you want your title and subtitle. Start to write down, and it's not about perfection. Write down as many as you can, and then start to choose. You can even do a survey on it. Ask your group, ask people out there what they feel would be the best. You then want to look at your product format. We went over the 11 different formats. What are you going to start at? Don't do all of them. Choose one and focus on that one and do the best you can with that one. Deliverables, that one, then how are you going to deliver the content within that format? Video, written, workbooks, whatever, or a combination of. Bonuses, you want to be able to stack those bonuses, you want to answer objections with those, handle the objections with those bonuses, and you want to add really, really great value. That price then will be perceived to that value of what you're giving them on top of the core product, okay? And you can also look at your discounting your price as another strategy. The payment plans is another thing you can look at, whether you do it a one-off or you have a split payment, however you feel. But be very careful with your costing and the time it takes, because a lot of times online, you can go to your merchant, and in your merchant account, they will hold that until things are verified, and you may have to pay out affiliates and various people in the meantime, and it can cause a big squeeze on your cash flow. So just be careful about that. The guarantee, as we spoke about, is very important. And it's necessary, because by law now people have certain rights. So you need to have that in place, but have that work call to action, that if they want a refund, they need to be doing some work themselves in order to get that. And then the call to action at the end. Make sure you always have a call to action on everything you're doing. Okay, so I hope that gave you a little bit of insight into what actually goes into your product, an overview, and as usual, like, follow, trust, subscribe us. And what we will see is, I'll see you in the next episode. But remember this, you can also go to our Facebook page, InfoProduct Facebook page, and there is a link there that you can click on if you'd like to go and get some more information, free video on how you yourself can get into creating your own information product, and we can help you with your funnel. I'll see you next time.